Once a giant, always a giant. For me, it's only a giant.
What's going on, YouTube? Definitely hit that subscribe button if you're new. Like the video if you like the video, and I won't tell if you click that bell. But let's go ahead and get into this. So, I want to get straight into this free agency period for this year. We got a couple of things brewing, and I wanted to kind of talk about who we're going to be looking for to resign, who's going to probably be walking, what my personal opinion is. Today, Xavier Mckinney put out a couple of tweets, pretty much just going on a rant about how valuable he is as a safety, blah, 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 blah. Don't compare me to this person, don't compare me to that person. So I think he's gone on like a rant like this before, and he just copped out of it by saying that he wasn't talking about the Giants. He was talking about like someone he was dating. I might be having him confused with someone else on the Giants. But either way, McKinney took to Twitter and what looked like he was saying, I know my worth. And that sort of matches up with people thinking that Xavier McKinney is talking to the Giants right now as far as getting a deal. So we can start off with Xavier McKinney. He's 24 and a half years old here. And I'll just go all off of Spot Rack today. 24 and a half years old. Let's take a look at Xavier McKinney. His market value is going to be, they usually have a market value. Here we go. His market value is 10.4 million. I don't put too much stock into this because players always get over their market value on the open market. This is what I would be willing to pay him. I'd be willing to pay him 11, 12 million dollars. But as far as like guys like Eddie Jackson, 14 million, who just got released, Eddie Jackson did, which is a guy that if he wants to take less money, then I would be more interested in than Xavier McKinney. Marcus Williams making 14 million. Tracy Walker is the third highest paid guy. So I'm thinking that if you can get Xavier McKinney at around 12 million, then bring him back. If not, let him walk. I mean, safety is a good position to have. It's a good position to have a good player at, but I don't think McKinney is consistent enough to justify paying him as much as you pay a guy like Eddie Jackson, who I think has pretty much consistently been a better player than Xavier McKinney. And he just got released. So that shows you that, you pay a safety, you're not even guaranteed that you're going to have that guy through the entirety of the contract because those guys get released. Safeties are sort of starting to become expendable. So let's take a look back at the rest of the Giants free agents. That's my quick little take on Xavier McKinney. Let's start at the top of the list with Adoree Jackson. I think Adoree, if you would have asked me this question 2 years ago, at the end of the season, I would say, yeah, we got to bring Adoree back for 2 or 3 years more. But he just doesn't look like the same player. I mean, if you look at some of my film sessions last year at the beginning of the season and even the season before, Adoree Jackson was playing really great man defense, really good man coverage corner, getting physical at the line, not really getting beat too much, never got beat deep. And last year, he just didn't have a good season. He got beat underneath. He got beat over the top. Yes, he was kind of forced to play in a slot at times, but it just didn't work out. It just didn't work out for him. I think that he will be a guy that could bounce back. But again, you're looking at a starting corner. His average is already 13 million. Someone may be willing to offer him more than 13 million because of that high tier tape that he's put on. And the Giants really don't have much cap space. Let's take a look at our cap space for 2024 as it is right now. We're sitting at, let's look at cap space. Scroll down here. Cap space, we're sitting at about $26 million in cap space for 2024. You got to think we'll make a couple of moves. Maybe you extend Dexter Lawrence. Maybe you extend Andrew Thomas. Darren Waller could be a guy that gets cut. People have talked about cutting Darius Slayton. I don't think that makes sense. But there are a couple of moves that we can make. And very rarely do you see a kicker who you will really take a $2 million loss if you cut him. But that's how good Graham Gano's been for us, besides that injury. But you don't have as much wiggle room as you'd like to. So, do you want to pay a guy like Adoree Jackson $15 million in a season where you don't even know what direction your team's going in? You could have a rookie quarterback in there. You don't even know what to expect from that team. So, I'm not going to pay Adoree Jackson $15 million or even the $13 million. I would honestly rather give the $12 or $13 million to Xavier Mckinney than Adoree Jackson. So, Adoree Jackson, I'm letting him walk. Saquon Barkley, same sort of situation as Xavier McKinney. $10 million is his average right now, and he's just at the end of his contract. Got franchised one time, and they are saying that his average market value is at $9.9 million. Let's take another look at average salary in the league. Jonathan Taylor is at $14 million. Saquon Barkley can make an argument that he should be getting paid 13 to 14 million. Aaron Jones is getting paid 12 million. I would pay Saquon Barkley around that 12 million because if you look at his impact, I would say his impact to the Giants is very similar to the impact of a guy like Aaron Jones. I wouldn't have any issue paying this guy 12 million, 3 years. I'd give him like 85-90% of it guaranteed because 3 years is nothing. If you get stuck with this guy for 3 years and he's not good after the second year, just play the last year out and just let it ride. So that would be more likely for him to accept it. I'm thinking 3 years, 31 million, 3 years, 32 million, somewhere around that. And then top that off with about, if you give him 30, if the contract is 3 years, 33 million or something like that, you give him 29 million guaranteed. You give him 30 million guaranteed. So I don't see an issue with paying Saquon, but once that number goes to about 13.5 million, 14 million, then I start to have issues with it because you have to build the team around him, and you're seeing it in motion that if you don't have a good supporting cast around that running back, you're not going to be able to make a lot of the moves that you want, and your running back isn't going to be as effective as you'd like him to be, even if he is that all-powerful superstar running back that you have on the team. So that's Saquon. Tyrod Taylor is another discussion, and these will start to get a little quicker. I'm not going to go through everybody, but Tyrod Taylor is another guy. I thought he really filled in well. He's almost 35. His cap hit is about $5 million, so you got to think he's coming back $5-6 million. Another team may be willing to pay him $8 to $10 million to be their backup because he looks so good compared to Daniel Jones, compared to Tommy DeVito at times. He looked solid when he was in there. And frankly, a lot of teams are looking for solid quarterback play from the backup position. So he could be looking for a $10 million a year, $8 million a year type of contract. And the Giants can't pay that. So they're either drafting a rookie this year that is going to be in the third or fourth round that should be the backup or will be a vet backup. A rookie or a vet backup that's cheaper than that against Daniel Jones, or Daniel Jones will be the backup quarterback and it'll be a rookie starting or a vet that they bring in, because I keep hearing rumors about us bringing in a vet quarterback to compete with Daniel. I just don't get it. So those two are the options, but I don't see Tyrod Taylor coming back. Okay, so Isaiah Simmons is a guy that I think was really attached to Wink Martindale's defense. I don't think that he's going to be as effective in a defense that's not a Wink Martindale defense. So just for that reason, I would have loved to see him back if Wink was back, but he's not back. So Isaiah Simmons is probably gone. A'Shaun Robinson, $5 million a year. No, sir. We're not going to be able to pay him that much next year. We did see a little bit better play for our backup defensive lineman, but they'll visit that. But I just don't see an avenue where he comes back at that price. I think the Giants got to hit the draft, bring some young defensive linemen in here that are studs that can develop, and I think A'Shaun will move on. Paris Campbell pretty much got benched, so he's gone. Really big disappointment from Paris Campbell and through the offense in general. Paris Campbell just didn't live up to expectations. And like I said, that might not be completely his fault, but complete disappearing act, if you ask me. So he is that's a no-brainer. He's going to be gone. Raheem Nunez Roches, maybe he comes back at a lower price. If not, he's probably gone, and these guys will be replaced with low-cost free agents and late-round draft picks. Xavier McKinney, we already touched on. Jihad Ward, Wink is gone. He's gone. There's no reason to bring back Jihad Ward. Matt Breida is probably gone as well. He's been a guy that's been criminally underused, and we just don't get much from him. I just really wanted to see that long range 80-yard touchdown, 70-yard touchdown, even a 40-yard touchdown run from Matt Breida. He's got all that speed, and he's never gotten to use it. He never got a hold that wide open, or maybe he just lost his step. But unfortunate, Matt Breida is probably not going to make that big play for the Giants. He's probably gone. You always can address the guys in the draft, address guys in the free agency. Casey Kreider, that's probably a no-brainer. He's probably back. He's been snapping the ball for a little while. Shep may be retiring. Gerard Davis is gone. Randy Bullock, obviously we have a kicker. He's going to be healthy. Matt Parrott, maybe you give him a vet minimum deal and allow him to compete in training camp. Other than that, he's going to be replaced. He really didn't get to live up to expectations. And then you got guys like Darnay Holmes. You got guys like Cam Brown. Cam Brown, they may throw him a bone. Carter Coughlin, they may throw him a special teams bone. Nick McLeod's been a guy that's battled. He's a restricted free agent. So he has a solid chance of coming back, at least being in training camp. Darian Beavers, same thing. Came off the ACL last year, but didn't really see much from him. So Brett Bredesen is probably out of this sort of pool, probably one of your more valuable free agents. Bredesen was a solid starter. And I think it makes sense to bring this guy back at least as a backup if he's going to be, especially if you're paying him $947,000 or you're paying him $1.5 million or something like that. I would definitely look at it bringing him back. Again, a lot of starting experience at this point and was solid for us. And then Gunnar Olszewski is probably the last guy I'll touch on. And Gunnar was a solid return man. I don't think he fumbled any punts. He got yards. He was the best punt returner we've seen in the Giants uniform since probably Dwayne Harris. And that's just really sad. That's just really sad. So those are your free agents for 2024. Those are my thoughts on it. I wanted to kind of give my perspective on the whole Saquon and Xavier McKinney thing. Hopefully you all were able to kind of grasp that. And you all let me know which free agents you absolutely need to see back. And let me know what free agents you absolutely do not want to see play another snap in a Giants uniform. If you made it this deep into the video, come on, just hit the subscribe button. I make Giants content primarily, draft content secondarily, and during the season, I'm going to be doing a lot of reacting to pretty much most of the NFL games and everything NFL. So if you made it this deep, go ahead and join the D6 squad.